Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedom's Phoenix Farm, where we have in studio Mr. Charles Goyette. Yeah, he's a popular talk show host here in Phoenix, Arizona, award-winning head guy against the war at a time and on a station that did not like that none too much. And I remember him writing an article that got published in American Conservative, which is Pat Buchanan's thing, that said how to lose your job in talk radio, which eventually he did.
It didn't take long.
But he was so redeemed from everything he said was going to happen that happened anyway. But it doesn't matter. The neocons and them, they didn't want to win a war. They just wanted to fight it. Like once they got in, it's like it doesn't matter what you have to say then. The money had already been spent. Same thing going on in Libya again. Then he saw what was happening. His forte was in economics. He wrote the book, The Dollar Meltdown. And there's a lot in there about gold and silver and just, the concept of money and how we have the central plan. A great deal of that was in Atlas Shrugged. And just seeing some of the trailers, that kind of rises up in the trailers that the movie part one is going to include a lot of the concepts that you detail in your book. So then you have, you imagine this, you have your book translated into Chinese and Korean. Then what happens when Atlas Shrugged starts hitting the planet too? They kind of marry together. This entire concept of self-ownership and us doing all our stuff in Arabia and Arabic and some of these young minds there, everything is starting to just surround the collectivist. And it has to break, if only from the math involved in inflation. So these are the kinds of things that I see happening because of not just this film, but all the things that feed into this philosophy. Don't you see that?
Yeah, this is, if there's something positive to be said for the pain and grief that we're going to go through, if there's something positive to be said for a monetary breakdown, such as we're entering, the positive thing is that it's, like a cold slap in the face for the American people and people elsewhere around the world, and they need to reassess, what is the nature of reality? Back to Michael Kilsky and the Objectivists. What is real money? What is phony money? Who are these people and where do they get these authorities? Where does this stuff come from? And who died and put them in charge? And so
who did they kill and they got in charge?
So but the process of a breakdown or a collapse discredits them all. And the only question to me is, are the American people have to live through this nonsense going to be clueful, aware, awakened enough by the things that you're talking about, by being able to see this movie and, get oriented, introduced to a book like this, for example? Are they gonna be sold another bill of goods on the other side? So you go through a monetary breakdown, and some geniuses come up and they say, "Oh, well, we have a new monetary system for you, and it'll fix all of the faults and shortcomings of the old one. And we've got the best minds on the planet, PhDs from Princeton, where Bernanke came from. They're all working on it, and they've come up with this. And will the people buy it?" Now, my belief is that the pain that we're going to go through will be so severe that nobody will buy the centralizers and the new scam, whether it's an IMF scam or an Amero or some other fiat paper currency. I don't think people will buy it on the other side of this one. But people, we've seen the American people.
That's not going to stop them from trying to introduce it.
Yeah, and the American people are quite capable of being sold a bill of goods. They've been sold one after the other during our lifetimes.
This is I want to make this comment and get you to comment on it because, we have a little bit difference in age. Okay, we're like another generation. You were in service and Armed Forces Radio during Vietnam.
Right.
So I was kind of after that. When I was assigned, Atlas Shrugged to read, and it usually begins with Ayn Rand. I read that. I found that very informative. It's a short book. It's kind of just talking about the history.
Prescott wrote that. Jerome Tusil.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You should get him on the show.
I very well will. Sierra! Yeah, she heard it. Yeah, we'll get it. Now, Atlas Shrugged, when I read it in 1994, I could see what was going. I could understand why it was important. But what it did is, she's from the Soviet Union. She saw the seeds of collectivism and the impact it had on societies and individuals, and the goose-stepping march towards the seeds that were here then. You know, you had the Red Scare and all that going on, which it was legitimate. I mean, you had a lot of people that wanted to use the collectivized government of the United States of America, and the federal government was a perfect mechanism by which you just put a bunch of collectivists in there and we rule you. I mean, that was what happened. And she saw it coming. If you didn't have the federal government, or you didn't have all these bureaucracies, you didn't have this war machine, a lot of this wasn't even possible to take over. So what she did is she warned people, said, look, you know, here it comes, and this is how. These are the kind of people, and this is their mindset, and this is how they view themselves. This is the vanity and the lack of self-confidence and self-esteem, and this is the mental illness that they have, that they're going to perpetuate all this crap on everybody. So I'm going, all right, I get it. What happened is, when you read the book, the first third was probably accurate and timely for the time in the 50s. By the time I read it in 94, heck, man, it was I think there was only about 100 pages left of what needed to happen. And I remember during the high school years in the late 70s, a lot of the things that she said that governments would do like this happened in the Carter administration. And I'm going, wow, I remember them doing that. I remember them doing that. I remember Reagan doing this. I remember, how the heck did she know decades before that they would do this? Because she just, you know, logic and reason. You know, they have to do this, shut down that, make sure you can't that, limit this, insist on that, central plan that, you know, and it has these results. If you were to read that book now, we are in the final pages. When they get to do part 3, there is going to be current news that will be making the point at the end of that book. So it's like, and it was the same problem that we had when we were at your home doing interviews for Liberty, the Ron Paul Revolution, how the withered tree of liberty got watered. I remember when we were sitting there and you got the call from the publisher, from your agent, saying the publisher had bought your book. Yeah. When they did that, we were sitting around and they gave a timeline for it, and we're going, wow, are you going to be done in time? You know, the end's coming, man. Yeah. You know, so this movie almost didn't make it, which means it might be the perfect time.
Perfect timing, sure.
So this is what I see the impact. This movie, if it gets done, it isn't going to be kind of a philosophical rant going on like Lord of the Rings. It is going to be current news. You will recognize the people in this as characters that could have been easily transplanted from now to the book in the beginning.
Well, the only thing I can say is my favorite part of Atlas Shrugged is the characters. They have characters all you have to do is hear their names and you know what they're like. These looters, these people that are, you know, like you got people that, you know, actually produce the Atlas Shrugged means, you know, Atlas is the in mythology, Greek mythology, holds the world up on his back. And, you know, at some point, the people who are producing, that are working and so on, are so put upon, they get so tired of being bled that sometimes they shrug and they put down their load. What happens to the world when Atlas will no longer carry it all on his back? So anyway, these characters that, you know, that we generically call in Rand speak looters, these characters have great names, like there's Wesley Mooch and Tinky Morrison and Chicky somebody and stuff. You read them and you know, and then she draws out the characters and your skin just crawls and you go, I know who these people are, and they're the governing classes of America, and they populate both administrations, Republicans and Americans. And you see these guys, the governing classes. I mean, so help me, Timothy Geithner, the Secretary of the Treasury, is a character. He's a character out of Atlas Shrugged. He's one of the looters. He's just unbelievable. And then you start putting the pieces together. Do you know? You probably know, Ernie. Do you know that that Barack Obama's mother in Indonesia worked for the Ford Foundation and answered to Timothy Geithner's father?
Whoa. So, yeah, you see, don't go away in the second hour, because you want to hear this. I want to hear the connect. You can't. Don't start that kind of crap when we're starting the music, man. You know, I'm going. Wow. And during the break, I'm going to make sure, I don't think Charles has seen all the trailers. And there's some in here that it tells you where this is going. I can see what's going to happen and why I was so enthusiastic about having this message available that you can share with others, because it's going to get a lot of buzz. They're trying to stop it, but we're not going to let them. Stay right there. We'll be right back after the top of the hour break and get Timothy Geithner's dad teaching Barack Obama's mom what? What? We'll talk about it then with Charles Goyette in just a little bit. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.